freedom and abundance versus scarcity and enslavement. One thing you'll notice about guys who have an abundance mentality or who are living in abundance, these guys are free, right? They've achieved their freedom. They're not in a mental prison. They're not imprisoned by anybody or anything. They're free, right? They're free. On the reverse side, you look at guys who are living in scarcity or who have a scarcity-based mindset. These guys are enslaved, right? They're prisoners of their own mind. They live with all of these limiting beliefs, right? It's like these guys are constantly like, oh, you can't do this unless you're that. Or you can't accomplish this unless you have that, right? They're constantly, like they're their own worst enemy. This is why I teach guys, you always have to have an abundance mindset, okay? Because abundance achieves freedom, okay? Abundance achieves freedom. Even if you don't have a whole lot of abundance right now, whether it be financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, right? As long as you're focused on that, focused on moving towards that, right? You will be free, right? You will be free of these mental demons. You will be free of this self-imprisonment, right? Because guys who are living in that scarcity-based mindset, like I said, they are prisoners of their own mind. They are prisoners of their own limiting beliefs, right? They have an excuse for everything. You ever see like these incels who are like who hate on a lot of the pickup stuff, for example? I mean, a lot of these guys aren't bad looking. I've seen some of these guys. They've linked to their real social media. I'm like, these guys are not bad looking. What are they freaking complaining about? It's always something. I'm not tall enough. Oh, I'm not jacked enough. I don't have enough money. I don't look enough like a Chad. It's always something, you know, to the point where even if they look like a Chad, they would still find something to complain about, right? There would always be something else. There would always be a new barrier in their way to give them an excuse to stay a slave, right? To be imprisoned in their own head. So I'm not going to jump too far into this topic. I just wanted to enlighten you guys and just kind of share more on the subject of abundance versus scarcity, okay? Because guys who are in abundance, man, you look at these guys, you know, and it's like they've achieved their freedom, right? They feel free, even if they're not where they want to be in life yet, right? They might not be rich, they might not be successful yet, but they're living in abundance. Like there's plenty of everything everywhere, right? There's no shortage of anything. No shortage of women, no shortage of money, no shortage of great ideas I could pursue, right? They're free in their heads. Whereas guys who are not free in their heads, guys who are enslaved by their own doing, these guys are constantly living in that scarcity. Like there's not enough of anything. There's not enough women out there. There's not enough money out there. There's not enough jobs out there. You ever like have friends like this? Like, oh, there's just no one's hiring. No, I can't find a job. No, there's no one hiring right now. The economy's bad. It's like they constantly see the world, like they see the glass half empty versus half full. You ever heard that saying? You see the glass half empty versus half full. So whenever I get a lot of guys who are pessimistic, right, especially in my comment section, a lot of guys who are pessimistic, they will tend to say shit like that. Like, oh, you know, this is why I can't do this, or this is why I can't do that. You know, they're not optimists, right? And part of being an optimist is having that abundance mentality, as you know, and just the same, part of being a pessimist is having that scarcity-based mentality, right? And you have to think like an opportunist. If you want to get anywhere in life, if you want to achieve great things in life, you have to become an opportunist, right? You have to see opportunity in every single thing you do, right? And you have to let go of this pessimistic mindset. And you know, I bag a lot on like feminists and leftists and stuff like that. It's just because I see it so predominantly with that group, right? As well as others. You know, it doesn't mean you need to be part of that group to be to be a pessimist or to be scarcity-based mindset, to have a scarcity-based mindset. But I would say overwhelmingly 99% of those people do, that tend to be like, or tend to identify as leftists, who are constantly protesting, constantly complaining, constantly marching for, social justice and feminism and women's rights. It's like they're constantly seeing lack in the world, right? They're constantly seeing a lack of abundance. They're constantly seeing a lack of opportunity. They're constantly feeling, they're constantly looking for oppression in society. And it's like I always say, if you look for something hard enough, you're going to find it, right? It's like if you think everyone's a racist, if you look hard enough, you're going to find that, right? That's what you're going to find, because your mind creates your reality. Your thoughts create your reality. And this is why I don't even like people like that in my social circle. I don't even like to befriend people like that, because then it starts to poison my pond, right? This is why I only like positive, high value, optimistic people in my life, right? Because I want to stay in that abundance mindset. I want to keep my mind free. I never want to feel enslaved or imprisoned by my own limiting beliefs of how I want to see the world versus how the world actually is. Okay, and that's my big deal with like people on the left, is like they see the world for how they want it to be versus how it actually is. They might think it's that way, but it's not actually that way, right? It's just kind of like in their heads. And because of that, that's the reality that they create for themselves. And then they imprison themselves in their minds. And this is why they're always angry. This is why they're always frowning. This is why they're always upset. This is why they're always just nasty towards people. This is why they're always complaining. Right? They are prisoners of their own mind. And I really think it's almost like a curse. It's almost like a demon possession that comes over people like that, where it's like they're constantly angry. And I mean, growing up in San Francisco, I've run across a lot of these people at times where, I've just called them out on it. I'm like, why are you such an angry person? And even they, well, because of this, and then they start like acting it out, like, if only those stupid, this group or whatever group they're complaining about. It's like they're constantly angry, and I mean, obviously I don't want that in my life. You shouldn't want that in your life. It's very toxic. It can poison your pond, right? It's just not, it's not an energy that I would, that I want to be around. Right, so just understand the difference, guys, between an abundance mindset versus scarcity-based mindset. Abundance leads to freedom, okay? Having an abundance mindset leads to you achieving your freedom as a man. Having a scarcity-based mindset leads to you imprisoning yourself and creating all of these limiting beliefs for why you can't do something, why you can't achieve something, why you can't get anywhere in life. Constantly pointing the fingers, right? Again, the left, constantly pointing the fingers at everyone else. It's them. They're trying to oppress us. The man is trying to keep me down. It's this group. It's that group. It's always someone else's fault but yourself. Okay? And part of being in abundance is, and part of achieving your freedom is to always blame yourself first. It's always your fault, right? And this is something I teach my self-development students, is always blame yourself first. It's always your fault. There's always something you could have done differently. There's always a different choice you could have made. Because when you come from the frame where you're blaming yourself first all the time, that's when you grow. That's when you learn. That's when you expand as a man. But when you're constantly pointing fingers, like a lot of lefties do, I hate to say it, constantly pointing fingers, oh, they're oppressing us. If it wasn't for them, if we don't pass these bills, oh, social justice, SJW rights, blah, 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 blah. If you're constantly living in that, you're constantly going to be imprisoned. You're never going to expand. You're never going to grow. You're never going to achieve shit, because you're always going to be pointing the fingers and playing the victim, right? You're always going to have that victim mentality, right? You're always going to feel like you have, a target on your back. And that's what I really can't stand about just blue pill leftist type ideas, is they, especially when they get to these kids, they're really teaching these kids that they have a target on their back if they're not a certain race, a certain ethnicity, a certain gender, right? It's like, oh, you're a victim, you're being oppressed by the patriarchy or whatever. And it's like, you're screwing this kid to believe that, you know, he's just a victim when he could be so much more. You're giving this kid crutches before he could even walk, right? You're getting this kid to imprison himself in his mind and create all these limiting beliefs and becoming a slave of himself versus being free and being abundant, right? I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from the Alpha Male Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay? Very, very important you guys subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, because you are going to learn a ton, right? You're going to learn a ton from this channel. So make sure you're subscribed as well. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill content even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube for obvious reasons. You guys who follow my Instagram and follow my posts, you see that YouTube is constantly demonetizing my videos. They've even flagged a few for like hate speech. I'm like, really? Really? Right? So I'm hosting my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel on a private platform away from YouTube where you could get signed up right now for just $1. So it's just $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male Secrets coaching lessons from me. And this is the absolute best way to support my work and support my content and support my channel and all of this red pill knowledge that you're learning here on my channel, right? So it's real easy to sign up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you could get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.